Well, first things first, 20 years after the horror of 9/11, we are forced to confront a terrifying truth: that while the dream of a better America endures, we have allowed the terrorists who brought down those towers to accomplish much of what they set out to achieve. Now, too often we remember September 11, 2001 as the day the towers fell, the day that terrorists declared war on the American homeland in a heinous, cowardly attack that claimed the lives of 2,996 souls. But you see, the 19 madmen who boarded those planes, they didn't come to destroy the American homeland. Hell, all of Al-Qaeda combined couldn't do that. No, they came to attack the ideas that made America possible. They came to try and make us question our faith in ourselves and each other. And yet, in the days and months that followed, as we combed through the rubble and ash, looking for the bodies that perished, something truly remarkable happened. People of all colors and creeds, from across the political spectrum, we came together as one people and showed the world the power of unity. And in that moment, all the labels that define our everyday lives, they all melted away. And for the first time in a long time, we heeded that clarion call to come together. The knowledge that we were all Americans, each and every one of us. And the knowledge that those who hate America, those who mean to do America harm, well, they hated the freedoms we hold dear. And the only colors they harbored hatred for were the red, the white, and the blue. Now, back then, in the aftermath of 9/11, we knew this in our marrow. And we made a pledge to remember it forever. When we said the words, "never forget," it wasn't just to remember those who had died. It wasn't just to commemorate the buildings that fell. It was also a commitment to remember the values and freedoms that made America a target of evil in the first place. But while we have gotten to be quite good at reading the names of those who died, while we have become experts at beaming those lights from ground zero, 5,000 feet in the air, it is quite clear that when you look at the state of our divided union, we have forgotten just why the terrorists were so desperate to see those towers fall to the ground below. 20 years ago, we watched NFL coaches and players of every team wearing NYPD hats on the sideline in solidarity with the men and women who ran into the fire on that fateful day. Back then, this nation stood shoulder to shoulder with law enforcement. Today, too many want to defame and defund them. 20 years ago, we watched Americans in stadiums all across this country stand with pride to sing our anthem, to say with one voice that our national pride was not for sale, and no matter of fear would ever undermine American freedom. Today, we have athletes that represent this nation, all while insisting there is nothing about our flag or the republic for which it stands that is worthy of standing to respect. 20 years ago, 181,000 Americans in 1 year enlisted in the armed service to avenge those 2,996 souls that perished because they believed America was worth the sacrifice. And today, that same nation that sent those brave heroes to war, they pulled up stakes in Afghanistan with some of our own countrymen stranded on the ground and left the values those heroes signed up to defend in tatters. And so, yes, in the fog and pain of raids that followed 9/11, we did come together as a nation. We did make a vow never to forget. And because of that commitment, Osama bin Laden is dead, and Al-Qaeda was, in fact, driven to the brink of extinction. But somewhere along the way, we also allowed the very seeds of dissension our enemies had hoped their terror would inspire to take root. We allowed the evil of that day to slowly seep into the fabric of who we are as a people. And if we do not stop this slide, if we do not mend our divided home. That we may, in fact, one day defeat the terrorists once and for all. But the intent of their mission on that 11th day of September will unfortunately have been accomplished. Now, when America initially made the decision to rebuild at ground zero, we made a conscious choice not to rebuild the Twin Towers. Instead, we decided to erect what at the time we called the Freedom Tower. See, it was a name synonymous with the legacy of the day. It was a name consistent with the mission of our great republic. Freedom today, freedom tomorrow, freedom forever. And so if anniversaries serve as a quiet opportunity to reflect, then let this 20th anniversary force us to have the most uncomfortable conversation about the real truths of America, so we can finally become the fullest version of the nation we have always been destined to come. Let us recommit to healing the vision of a united people, defined not by race or place, but by the power of our ideas. Because if the legacy of 9/11 is not the love that united the nation, but the beginning of a drift that caused America's permanent divide, then the World Trade Center is no longer our ode to America the Beautiful. Instead, it would be a heart-wrenching eulogy for an America that has fallen.
Hi, Emma Reckenberg here. If you like this video, there's a whole lot more to see on Newsmax TV. You can watch for free right here on our YouTube live stream and be the first one here each time our experts break down real news. Just hit that subscribe button, ring the bell icon, and stay with us on America's fastest growing cable news channel, Newsmax TV.